A Good Girl's Guide to Murder Season 2 Episode 1 Review. Pip is drawn back into the darkness. Netflix's A Good Girl's Guide to Murder returns with a season premiere that feels noticeably more mature, more emotionally complex, and considerably darker than what came before. While the first season thrived on the excitement of uncovering hidden truths and exposing long-buried secrets, Season 2 begins from a very different emotional place. The mystery is still there, the tension remains intact, and the twists are already beginning to take shape. But this time the story is less concerned with the thrill of investigation and more interested in examining the cost of becoming someone who cannot stop searching for answers. Episode 1 opens with Pip Fitzamobi attempting to reclaim some sense of normality after the traumatic events that concluded last season. Having uncovered the truth behind one of Little Kilton's most infamous cases, she should, in theory, be able to move forward. Yet the premiere quickly establishes that closure is often more complicated than simply solving a mystery. The psychological consequences of everything Pip experienced linger beneath the surface. She is no longer the curious student who embarked on a school project and accidentally uncovered a web of lies. Instead, she is someone who has witnessed firsthand how destructive the truth can be. That emotional shift gives the premiere a richer dramatic foundation than many viewers may expect. A more mature direction. One of the most impressive aspects of the season opener is its willingness to acknowledge the aftermath of Season 1 rather than treating the previous case as a completed chapter. Television mysteries often focus so heavily on the investigation itself that they neglect the emotional consequences once the culprit is revealed. Here, however, the writers understand that uncovering devastating truths changes people. Pip carries visible emotional scars. She is more cautious than before, more guarded. There is a subtle exhaustion in the way she approaches situations that once would have immediately sparked her curiosity. Rather than eagerly pursuing another mystery, she actively resists being pulled back into that world. This internal conflict becomes one of the episode's strongest elements. The audience understands exactly why Pip wants to stay away from danger. Yet because this is Little Kilton, a town seemingly incapable of keeping its secrets buried, it is only a matter of time before circumstances begin drawing her back in. That tension between who Pip was and who she is becoming creates a compelling foundation for the season. Emma Myers delivers stronger material. A significant reason the emotional storytelling works so effectively is the performance of Emma Myers. While she was already a strong presence during the first season, Season 2 immediately gives her more nuanced material to work with. The character now operates in shades of gray rather than straightforward determination. Myers captures that evolution beautifully. There are moments throughout the episode where Pip appears confident on the surface, while clearly struggling underneath. The actress communicates anxiety, uncertainty, and lingering trauma without needing lengthy monologues to explain what the character is feeling. It is a more restrained performance than viewers may be accustomed to, but it proves highly effective. The premiere repeatedly reminds us that solving crimes is not an adventure for Pip anymore. It has become something heavier and more complicated. Myers ensures that emotional reality remains present in nearly every scene. As a result, Pip feels more human than ever. The new mystery hooks you immediately. Of course, emotional depth alone is not enough for a series built around suspense. Fortunately, the premiere also succeeds in establishing a mystery that immediately captures attention. Without revealing major spoilers, the disappearance at the center of the season is introduced with enough intrigue to spark countless questions while withholding enough information to keep viewers guessing. The writers demonstrate considerable confidence in their storytelling. Rather than overwhelming the audience with answers, they focus on creating uncertainty. Small details are planted throughout the episode. Conversations feel loaded with hidden meaning. Characters appear to know more than they are willing to reveal. Most importantly, the mystery feels personal. The best detective stories are rarely just puzzles waiting to be solved. They become compelling when the investigation intersects with the protagonist's emotional journey. That appears to be exactly what Season 2 is attempting to accomplish. As Pip finds herself reluctantly becoming involved, the mystery begins functioning as both an external conflict and a reflection of her internal struggles. The questions she faces are not merely about discovering what happened. They are also about deciding whether she can continue living as someone who constantly seeks the truth regardless of the consequences. That thematic layer adds considerable weight to the investigation. The shadow of Max Hastings. Another compelling aspect of the premiere is its exploration of the lingering fallout surrounding Max Hastings. Rather than moving on entirely from previous events, the series recognizes that actions have consequences that extend beyond a single season. The emotional and social repercussions continue to ripple through Little Kilton, affecting relationships, perceptions, and community dynamics. This decision helps the world feel more realistic. Too often, television mysteries treat each season as an isolated narrative. Here, the writers allow the past to remain relevant, reinforcing the idea that trauma and injustice do not simply disappear once a case is solved. The result is a stronger sense of continuity and a deeper emotional investment in the story. Viewers who followed Season 1 will appreciate how the premiere builds upon established events instead of resetting the narrative for convenience. Ravi remains the emotional anchor. If there is one relationship that continues to define the heart of the series, it is the connection between Pip and Ravi. The chemistry between Emma Myers and Zayn Iqbal remains one of the show's greatest strengths. Their scenes together provide much-needed emotional grounding amid the growing tension and uncertainty. What makes the dynamic work is its authenticity. Neither character feels idealized. Both carry emotional baggage, and both understand aspects of one another that few other people can. That mutual understanding creates a connection that feels genuine rather than manufactured. The premiere wisely avoids overplaying the romance. Instead, it allows their relationship to develop naturally through meaningful interactions and shared experiences. Whether the season ultimately places greater emphasis on their romantic connection or prioritizes the mystery remains unclear, but Episode 1 demonstrates that the emotional foundation remains strong. Whenever the narrative becomes particularly dark or intense, Ravi serves as an important reminder of the humanity at the center of the story. Atmosphere and tone. One of the most noticeable differences between Seasons 1 and 2 is the atmosphere. The premiere embraces a darker tone from the outset. Little Kilton feels less like a town hiding secrets and more like a community haunted by them. The emotional consequences of past events linger in every corner, creating an underlying sense of unease that permeates the episode. The cinematography reinforces this mood effectively. Shadows appear deeper. Quiet moments feel heavier. Even scenes that would normally seem ordinary carry an undercurrent of tension. This atmospheric approach helps distinguish the season from its predecessor while maintaining the identity that made the series successful. The result is a premiere that feels more suspenseful, more emotionally resonant, and ultimately more confident in its storytelling. A slightly crowded beginning. If the episode has a notable weakness, it lies in its pacing. There is a tremendous amount of setup packed into the first hour. New characters are introduced. Existing relationships evolve. Fresh mysteries emerge. Old storylines continue generating consequences. At times, the sheer number of narrative threads can make the episode feel slightly crowded. Certain developments move quickly enough that viewers may struggle to fully absorb their significance before the story transitions to the next revelation. This is not necessarily a fatal flaw. In fact, many successful mystery series begin by scattering numerous pieces across the board before gradually bringing them together. Still, there are moments when the premiere feels as though it is balancing one subplot too many. The hope is that future episodes will allow these individual threads more room to breathe. Given the show's track record, there is every reason to believe the apparent complexity will eventually serve a larger purpose. Why the premiere works. Ultimately, what makes this season opener successful is its understanding of what audiences loved about the first season while recognizing the need for evolution. The series could have easily repeated the same formula: another mystery, another investigation, another collection of suspects. Instead, it chooses to deepen its protagonist. The mystery remains engaging, but the emotional journey now feels equally important. Pip is no longer solving a case simply because she is curious. She is navigating the consequences of becoming someone who sees the world differently after discovering difficult truths. That added maturity elevates the entire premiere. It transforms the show from a straightforward teen mystery into something more thoughtful and emotionally layered. The suspense keeps viewers invested, but the character development gives the story genuine substance. Final verdict. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder Season 2 begins with a confident and compelling premiere that successfully builds upon the strengths of its first season while pushing the story into darker, more emotionally sophisticated territory. Emma Myers delivers one of her strongest performances yet, portraying a Pip who is still grappling with the consequences of everything she has endured. The new mystery is immediately intriguing. The emotional stakes feel significantly higher, and the relationship between Pip and Ravi continues to provide the heart of the series. Although the episode occasionally struggles under the weight of its many narrative threads, its strong performances, atmospheric storytelling, and carefully constructed suspense more than compensate. Most importantly, the premiere accomplishes the essential goal of every great mystery series. It leaves viewers desperate to know what happens next. Season 2 does not merely return to familiar territory. It deepens the emotional complexity of its central character, expands the consequences of previous events, and establishes a mystery compelling enough to fuel another addictive binge watch. Rating 4.5/5. Now streaming. A Good Girl's Guide to Murder Season 2 Episode 1 is available to stream exclusively on Netflix.